And starting up, our focus remains for the Tamil Nadu battle. AIA-DMK General Secretary and Leader of Opposition in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, Edapadi K. Palaniswamy, has sharpened his offensive against the DMK. He has accused Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's government of corruption, neglecting people's grievances and betrayal of public trust. This comes during his rally, where he said that people will be held accountable once the AIA-DMK returns to power in 2026. Listen in to this reaction.
அது மட்டுமல்ல, இங்க இருக்கிற மந்திரி யாருன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். இந்த தொகுதி மந்திரி எப்படிப்பட்டவர்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். நாங்க சொல்லி தெரிய வேண்டியதில்லை. அங்க மேலூர்ல பேசும்போது அங்க கூட்டத்துல இருந்து பேசுறாங்க, ஐயா பேசுங்க அப்படின்னு. என்னப்பா பேசுறது? இங்க இருக்கிற மாவட்ட மந்திரி யாருன்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். அவர் பத்திரப்பதிவு துறையில் இருக்காரு. ஆக கொள்ளையோ கொள்ள அடிக்கிறான்னு கீழே இருக்கிற மக்கள் பேசுறாங்க. நான் பேசுறேன், எங்களுக்கு பாயிண்ட் எடுத்து கொடுக்குறாங்க மக்கள். இப்போ ஏற்கனவே பிராந்தி கடையில் 10 ரூபாய்னு ஒருத்தர் பேர் வாங்கியிருக்காரு. யாரு உங்களுக்கு தெரியும். இப்போ இங்க இருக்கிற அமைச்சர் 10% பதிவு செஞ்சா 10%, பத்திரப்பதிவு செஞ்சா 10% அவருக்கு போய் சேர வேணும். அப்படி சேர்ந்தாதான் அந்த பத்திரப்பதிவு நடக்கும். நடக்குதுல உண்மைதானே? உண்மைதானுங்க.
And my colleague Vasudha Venugopal is joining me to put this attack in perspective. Vasudha, do give us more details why EPS is calling the Tamil Nadu Sarkar as corrupt.
Well, Aditi, as you know, that elections are coming up in Tamil Nadu, and Edapadi Palaniswamy, who's the AIADMK General Secretary and also former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, he is undertaking this very long yatra. It's called Makkalai Kappom Tamilagatte Meepom, and as part of this yatra, he was in Selur and of course in Madurai today, and he has made 2 important points. He has taken on the DMK government by saying that there is large-scale corruption in every part of the government. In fact, he says that people keep getting transferred from one department to another, and that there is a lot of money that's being made even with regard to these transfers, and all these ministers will be held accountable once the AIADMK government comes to power in 2026. He also said that when it comes to tungsten mining, the DMK did not really protest the auction or the project of the center. It was the AIADMK-led farmer protest that actually made the center realize what it's doing, and that he also said that unlike Jayalalitha, who ensured the farmers' rights were priority for the government, Stalin has not really been able to do that, especially talking to opposition partners, specifically Pinarayi Vijayan, who's the Chief Minister of Kerala, or even Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who belong to the allied partners of India bloc. He went on to say that not just corruption, it's also farmers' issues which are raging, and that the DMK is not able to address these 2 issues. Now, all of this, putting it in context, this is Edapadi Palaniswamy trying to put on a very aggressive front and trying to take on the DMK government and saying that all their petitions, remember that M.K. Stalin has also launched this statewide yatra asking people to come up with their grievances. Edapadi Palaniswamy is saying that the government has done nothing, and that the government and the ministers will be held accountable once it changes in 2026.
Right. Thank you so much, Vasudha, for joining us and giving that whole picture. This is the battle for Tamil Nadu, and 2026 polls are already nearby. Thank you so much, Vasudha. Shifting our focus to more news that is coming in from Tamil Nadu. In a fresh centre versus Tamil Nadu friction, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has asked PM Modi to end the suffering of people in Tirupur. He claimed that they are suffering as cheap Russian oil is being bought for refineries in Gujarat is unfair, and PM Modi should negotiate with US President Donald Trump for a better deal. Citing reports of the impact on Tirupur's textile hub due to the US tariff hike of 50% that came into effect on Wednesday, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin demanded that the union government provide immediate relief and implement structural reforms to safeguard the industries and workers. The BJP, however, has slammed Tamil Nadu Chief Minister's comments, calling them unfortunate. Sample the reactions coming in.
Issue, we are having negotiations with America also. We all know that. So the time will tell that India will succeed in this issue, because we are concerned about our exporters, and also America also knows that in fact more of Indian exports are happening or imports in America is happening. even they are in need of our materials. So it is not a one-way traffic, it's a two-way traffic. Definitely, we will solve these issues.
As the impact of President Trump's 50% tariff on goods exported from India is beginning to hit exporters across the country, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has trained his guns on Prime Minister Modi, questioning his logic permitting oil refineries in Gujarat to procure oil at a low price from Russia, crippling exporters in Tamil Nadu who employ thousands of workers. He demanded Prime Minister Modi to justify his title Vishwaguru by resolving this crisis with President Trump, who he had supported till recently, and by fulfilling the list of relief demands he had made, including the COVID situation like moratorium for businesses and industries across the country. This on a day the Hosiery capital of India, Tirupur in Tamil Nadu, witnessed a massive protest by ruling DMK and allies against the centre, demanding the Prime Minister's immediate intervention. The BJP has slammed Chief Minister M.K. Stalin's stand, calling it immature and unfortunate, and that he neither understands economy nor politics. Politics aside, time is certainly ticking and pressure is mounting on Prime Minister Modi to intervene and fix this crisis before it turns irreparably too late. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find It TV.
And now shifting our focus to Karnataka, where the Karnataka Congress divide and rule strategy seem to be working for some as knives are out between Congress leaders in Karnataka, especially from the Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar factions. Now, son of former Minister Rajanna and MLC Rajendra Rajanna hits back at MLA Balakrishna, who earlier had said that Rajanna has one foot in the BJP. Now, Rajanna's son has said that it's not his father, but Congress MLAs who are trying to appease BJP and trying to join them. Listen to this reaction coming in.
ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಏನಂದರೆ ಇವ್ರುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿ ಜೆ ಪಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ರಾಜಣ್ಣವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಇವರೇ ಬಿ ಜೆ ಪಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯನೂ ಪಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಬಿ ಜೆ ಪಿ ಹಿರಿಯ ಶಾಸಕರು ಯತ್ನಾಳ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 65 ಜನ ನಾನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಿ ಜೆ ಪಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಯತ್ನಾಳ್ ಅವರು ಆಗಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ನಡೆದು ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ರಾಜಣ್ಣವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಇದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು.
Moving on, veteran Karnataka Congress MLA R.V. Deshpande's embarrassing and sexist comments have put the Congress party in a tight spot. When a woman journalist asked the MLA for a hospital in the area, as pregnant women have to go miles away, the Congress MLA laughed it off and ridiculed the journalist, saying that when her time will come, the Congress MLA will himself take her for delivery in a nearby hospital. My colleague Deepak Bopanna spoke to that journalist. Let's listen in.
ಏನ್ ಸರ್
ನಿನ್ನೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
ಆಯ್ತು, ನಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸಿ ನಿಮ್ ಕಾಲಾವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ಸರ್.
ಆಯ್ತಮ್ಮ, ಆಯ್ತು.
वहाँ एक सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल नहीं है, इवन तो एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, फिर भी वहाँ एक हॉस्पिटल नहीं है जो सुपर स्पेशलिटी हो. तो वहाँ के लोग सभी हुबली जाते हैं, नहीं तो धारवाड़ जाते हैं, नहीं तो बेलगांव जाते हैं, नहीं तो मणिपाल जाते हैं. इमरजेंसी में बाय रोड जाने के टाइम बहुत सारे डेथ्स हुए हैं. इसीलिए और जो जोड़ा तालुक पे वहाँ प्रॉपर हॉस्पिटल ही नहीं है. प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन जो डिलीवरी के लिए जाते हैं तभी बहुत सारे ऐसे डेथ्स हुआ है. इसीलिए वहाँ होते, इसलिए मैंने उनको एक प्रश्न पूछा कि सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल का मांग है और कोई भी हॉस्पिटल नहीं है, बारिश का सीजन है, बहुत सारे फ्लड सभी होता है, इसीलिए एक अच्छा सा हॉस्पिटल चाहिए जो प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन्स होते हैं डिलीवरी के टाइम में. आप तो बहुत बड़ा पॉलिटिशियन है। आप अभी 7 टाइम आप एमएलए रह चुके हैं। आपकी ही एक आपका जो ये कॉन्स्टेंसी है, तो आपके जो टर्म है, इसी टर्म में एक हॉस्पिटल बनाइए, ये मांग है यहाँ का। ऐसा मैंने एक प्रश्न पूछा, इसलिए उन्होंने बोला कि आप आ जाओ हलियाल को, मैं आपका डिलीवरी करवा दूंगा। ऐसे उन्होंने बोला। मैं तो बहुत शॉक हुई, क्योंकि कभी भी वो बहुत ऐसा नॉनसेंस स्टेटमेंट कभी नहीं दिया है। अभी पहली बार उनके मुंह से मैं ऐसा स्टेटमेंट सुनी और मैं बहुत शॉक हो गई। और वो एक ऑस्पिशियस प्रोग्राम था, सभी बहुत खुश थे। तो
क्या उनसे आप एक अपॉलॉजी डिमांड करेंगे ऐसे स्टेटमेंट के लिए?
बाद में मैंने हमारा जो चैनल है उसमें मैं इस टॉपिक को सीरियस ली और मैंने मांग किया, नॉट ओनली फॉर मी, पूरे जो उत्तर कन्नड़ा डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जो महिलाएं हैं उसके तरफ से, उनके तरफ से मैंने ये मांग किया था। इसीलिए मैंने उनको पूछा कि आप सभी को एक अपॉलॉजी देना चाहिए, नॉट ओनली फॉर मी, होल उत्तर कन्नड़ा के जो महिलाएं हैं उनके तरफ से मैं मांग कर रही हूँ, आपको एक अपॉलॉजी देना चाहिए। फिर भी उन्होंने अब तक कुछ भी रेस्पॉन्ड नहीं किया है।
धन्यवाद मैडम हमसे बात करने के लिए, एंड होपफुली ही विल रिस्पॉन्ड एंड होपफुली ही विल apologize for a crass statement like this.
Now to the southern political soap opera from Telangana. The battle within the BRS between KCR's daughter and party MLC K. Kavita and her brother K.T. Rama Rao and cousin Harish Rao is split wide open. Kavita was suspended from the BRS and is likely to resign both from the party and her MLC post a day after she publicly alleged that her father K. Chandrasekhar Rao was made a scapegoat by her cousin and former minister Harish Rao and party MP Santosh Rao. She alleged that Harish and Santosh were being shielded by Revant Reddy, who has handed the investigations into the alleged scam in the Kaleshwaram project, in which KCR is an accused to the CBI. The statement from Kavita came perhaps as a last straw in the bitter battle in the family that dates back to Kavita's 2019 defeat in the elections. Kavita had recently accused the BRS leaders conspired to merge the party with the BJP when she was in jail. Listen in to what K. Kavita said and the political reactions following.
ఇవాళ 5 సంవత్సరాలు ఇరిగేషన్ మంత్రిగా చేసినటువంటి హరీష్ రావు గారిది మేజర్ పాత్ర లేదా దీంట్లో? అందుకే కదా కేసీఆర్ గారు వారిని సెకండ్ టర్మ్ లో తప్పించిండ్రు. ఈ మొత్తం కాళేశ్వరం ఎపిసోడ్ లో కేసీఆర్ గారికి మరక అంటిందంటే 2-3 వ్యక్తులు కారణం. మాజీ రాజ్యసభ సభ్యుడు ఒకలైతే, హరీష్ రావు గారు ఒకలైతే, మేఘా కృష్ణారెడ్డి గారు ఇంకోడు, మేఘానో బోగానో ఏదో. ఈ పెద్ద పెద్ద కాంట్రాక్టర్లు అందరితో కుమ్మక్కై కేసీఆర్ గారు ప్రజల కోసం ఆలోచన చేస్తే, నీళ్ల కోసం ఆలోచన చేస్తే, వీళ్ళు సొంత వనరుల కోసం, డెవలప్మెంట్ కోసం, ఆస్తులు పెంచుకోవడం కోసం ఆలోచన చేసి ఇవాళ మీ వల్ల రేవంత్ రెడ్డి లాంటి వ్యక్తి, తెలంగాణ ఉద్యమానికి సంబంధం లేని వ్యక్తి, కేసీఆర్ గారి కాలి గోటికి సరిపోని వ్యక్తి, ఆయన నిలబడి కేసీఆర్ గారిని చేయెత్తి చూపించి కేసీఆర్ గారి మీద సిబిఐ ఇవాళ నేను వేస్తా అని చెప్తున్నాడంటే కారణం ఎవరు దీనికి? నేను భరించిన, ఇదే హరీష్ రావు గారు, ఇదే సంతోష్ రావు గారు అనేక కుట్రలు చేసినా కూడా భరించిన. నా మీద ఓపెన్గా మీడియా మిత్రులందరితో రకరకాల మాటలు చెప్తే కూడా నేను భరించిన. నా పర్సనల్ అటాక్కి నేను ఎప్పుడు కూడా వాళ్ళను ఇంతవరకు పేరు పెట్టి పిలవలేదు.
ఇట్స్ ఎ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎ బిగ్ డ్రామా. Kavita commenting on Harish Rao some time ago commenting on Kavita. It's all a part of a drama. Whole KCR family is one. Together they have looted the public money. They are one. They are only pretending as if they are different. Whole KCR family is playing a drama. Kavita's episode is one of that drama's episode.
Revelation by the own daughter of the former chief minister, and she had blamed her cousins for sharing more amount than anyone else, and also by misleading the Honorable CM then. This has exposed the corruption in several projects during the TRS rule, and the dispute has arisen between the members of the family only by the time of distribution of that ill-gotten wealth. So I think this is something very important for the people of Telangana to know, that how Telangana was looted during the BRS Rule 1.
पिछले कुछ महीनों से बीआरएस पार्टी के सीनियर लीडर, मेंबर ऑफ लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल साहिबा कविता जी जो है सो एंटी पार्टी एक्टिविटीज में शामिल हुई है। खास तौर से उन्होंने केसीआर साहब को टारगेट करते हुए और पार्टी वर्किंग प्रेसिडेंट केटीआर साहब को टारगेट करते हुए उल्टी सीधी बयान दिए थे इससे पहले।
And politics over K. Kavita's suspension is only flaring up every moment. Tensions flared in Telangana as the rift between BRS and Telangana Jagruti widened dramatically. In Hyderabad's Banjara Hills, Telangana Jagruti workers set ablaze an effigy of Harish Rao, retaliating to BRS cadres who earlier torched a flexi of Kavita in Siddipet and Husnabad. The war of words has turned into a full-blown street battle, with both sides accusing each other of betrayal and disrespect. Police forces have been deployed to maintain calm as political temperatures soar. And my colleague Uma Sudhir will be joining us for more details, but this is a fallout after K. Kavita was suspended from BRS after she alleged that anti-party activities are taking place behind her back, and there is an attempt to merge BRS with the BJP. Let's also take a look at the reactions. Look at your screen. These are the two windows which show you the political temperatures in Telangana currently. One side, K. Kavita's protest posters burnt. On the other side, Harish Rao's effigy burnt. There are clearly two camps. One, those are supporting K. Kavita, and the other who are against K. Kavita's alleged anti-party activities, the grounds on which K. Kavita was suspended today by the BRS. Now, these are the reactions coming in of Telangana Jagruti. Telangana Jagruti claims that how could she, K. Kavita, remain silent as she is a daughter of a fighter. My colleague Uma Sudhir is also joining me for more details. Uma, take us through the political temperatures in Telangana. On one side, we see Telangana Jagruti in full-blown support of K. Kavita.
Yes, indeed. So there are three kinds of protests that happened, all from the BRS-related families. So what happened was in the morning, you had all the BRS activists coming out and protesting against the CBI probe that had been ordered by the Revanth Reddy government. Subsequently, they were, after the suspension of Kavita from the party, we saw the BRS activists actually removing flexis of Kavita's put up in party offices and other public places, and there was even some incidents of the flexis being burnt. And Kavita's own supporters, which is the Telangana Jagruti, also targeted posters of Harish Rao, who she said was responsible for KCR now having to face a CBI probe, and those posters were targeted by the supporters of Kavita. So in that sense, political temperature certainly high, and the cadre was fairly agitated after the kind of comments that she had made, explosive comments about alleged, wealth accumulation by Harish Rao or Santosh Kumar.
Right. Thank you so much, Uma ma'am, for joining us with those quick updates. And what will be the next step of K. Kavita after being suspended remains our top focus. Don't go anywhere. We're slipping into a very short break. You saw that picture of a slogan from RJD Congress's stage where allegedly Prime Minister Narendra Modi was abused. Now, Prime Minister has finally broken his silence with a sharp rebuttal to RJD and Congress, saying that it is not just insult of his mother, but nation's mothers have been insulted by such derogatory remarks. Listen into what the Prime Minister said and the political reactions that follow.
RJD कांग्रेस के मंच से मेरी मां को गालियां दी गई। ये गालियां सिर्फ मेरी मां का अपमान नहीं है, ये देश की मां, बहन, बेटी का अपमान है। मुझे पता है आप सबको भी बिहार की हर मां को, बिहार की हर बेटी को, बिहार के हर भाई को ये देख सुनकर कितना बुरा लगा है।
प्रधानमंत्री ने उनको लेकर जो अपशब्द कहे गए थे पिछले दिनों कांग्रेस के मंच से, उस पर पहली बार रिएक्ट किया है और कहा है कि एक बार के लिए वो तो माफ़ कर भी दें, लेकिन जो देश की माताएं हैं वो माफ़ नहीं करेंगी। क्या आपका इस पर रिएक्शन है?
देखिए, इस हालत तक देश को पहुंचाने के लिए अगर कोई जिम्मेदार है तो स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री है। जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री ने सोनिया जी के बारे में, राहुल जी की माता जी के बारे में जिस शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया, वो लोग भूले नहीं। देश आज भी याद रखता है। जर्सी गाय से उनको संबोधन किया था। और हर चुनाव में जब भी कोई चुनाव आता है तो कोई ना कोई ऐसी बात वो बोलते हैं जो लोगों को बुरी लगती है। जैसे मंगलसूत्र छीन के ले जाएंगे अगर कांग्रेस वाले जीत गए, गठबंधन, इंडिया गठबंधन जीत गया। तो जो प्रधानमंत्री के पद पर रहते वो इस तरह की भाषा, अपशब्द का इस्तेमाल करता हो, वो एक मामूली कार्यकर्ता से क्या अपेक्षा करता है, क्या उम्मीद करता है?